Yep, you guessed it. It's the most evil man on the face of the planet. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's someone who I have a deep quantity of dislike and contempt for. This particular page is the homepage for the YouTube channel for the Alex Jones channel. The particular video which is featured there, Alex Jones, is entitled Alex Jones Exposes Attempts to Demonize 911 Truth on Geraldo Following Pentagon Incident. So he's suggesting and he's saying and promoting that this particular video here is an actual expose, a proper actual expose of something which has happened. Now, it's rather peculiar because it comes from Fox News, and Fox News is a rather disingenuous news source at best. So you would expect that maybe Fox News would actually be in favor of some of the things that Alex Jones would say. In this particular case, despite the fact that Alex Jones is being permitted to say his piece in this particular clip, he's actually being torn to shreds. So we got one piece of, well, bullshit really, which is Alex Jones saying on his channel that he exposes an attempt to demonize 911 Truth, when basically he's not really exposing anything, he's just saying his piece, and he himself is basically kindly asked to shut the F up, which I think is pretty hilarious. And then we got another piece of rubbish, which is Mr. Alex Jones himself. Now, if I get around to it, I'll link to this in the sidebar, because there's a video which shows Alex Jones's understanding of what he means by truth and what he means by fact and knowledge, which is of course in his beliefs about intelligent design, because Alex Jones is an intelligent design proponent who believes, he states as knowledge that evolution has an awful lot of fraud involved in it, okay? He actually thinks that there is fraud to try and prove evolution, and therefore, intelligent design is correct. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because it shows the Alex Jones standard of knowledge. If you've done enough YouTube research into the evolution debate, you will know that there is, properly know, not knowledge by his standards, but properly know as in factual evidence, that there are no hoaxes to prove evolution. And if there are, there's more good science, and I mean good science, proper science, which proves the actual veracity of evolution. So you can't go by what this guy says, alright? He's proven that he is a disingenuous source of information. Not only because of the stuff he says about evolution, but also the way that he has chosen to take this particular article and spin it, alright? Now let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the story in question, this guy who attacked the Pentagon, this gunman who went to attack the Pentagon, that actually happened. What Alex Jones says is, how comes, within an hour of this story coming out, that there are people saying that, oh my god, this particular, gun attacker was part of or encouraged by the 911 Truth movement. How comes they're coming out with that? Well, maybe it's because it's an important fact. Maybe because it's essential that people realize that this person, this disingenuous liar, is actually culting people up to the point whereby they will not only be gun owners, but they will actually take arms and attack innocent people. That's why. It's important that people realize that there is danger coming from this person's ideas. Now, everything in the whole wide world, everything in the world, alright, including like this camera that I'm using, this particular little bottle of liquid, it all got invented by people. And these things came firstly from the human mind, from the human imagination and the human creativity. Alright, but to make a physical object, such as this camera case for instance, it takes, you know, planning, it takes materials, it takes factories and all the rest of that, okay? To make politics, you don't need all that much. You just need a cohesive or seemingly cohesive argument and plenty of broadcast media to carry on banging your lies home. That's what you need. And from politics, from political views, will come political action. Hence the shooting. Hence the shooting incidents. That's why it's important, Mr. Alex Jones, that people know that this gun attacker was actually encouraged by the 911 was an inside job movement. It's important that people know this. Now, Alex Jones carries on saying, like, it's a fact that, or it's known that, about all kinds of things for which he has very little evidence, just as he's got very little evidence that evolution is a fraud. But he carries on saying, we know this is a fact, we know this is a fact, until such time as you may end up believing it and taking a gun and attacking the Pentagon. This is where the real damage, or part of the real damage, can happen. The ideas are out there, the people sit out there and they speak out their apparent truth, and then what happens? Someone's mind gets affected by this stuff and they go and they do something which is wrong. Intellectually, morally wrong. And it always has a cause, and the cause in this case is a set of thoughts which are associated with that guy and his movement. I'm sorry this video has been a bit of a rant, but some things get me a little passionate, a little riled up. And when he lies, because he's not doing a proper expose, he's actually having the shit kicked out of him, even by Fox News. Even by Fox News. And this is the guy who says that evolution is a sham and he believes in intelligent design, because that's the quality of, that's his standard of what makes truth. That's his standard of what makes a fact. And the result, it's crime. The result is people going nuts and doing nasty things because of this man and his movement. Nick Dutch signing out for now.